Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We start with verse number 29. Verse number 29 reads, Apane juhvati pranam prane panam tatapare pranapanagati rudva pranayama parayanaha. Apane juhvati pranam prane panam tatapare pranapanagati rudva pranayama parayanaha. Yet others offer a sacrifice, prana, incoming breath, into apana, outgoing breath, and apana into prana. Restraining the courses of prana and apana, some are absorbed in pranayama, breath control. Now, what he is saying is, having covered the three transactions of life, the receipt, reaction, and the response part. He covered the three transactions, the receipt, the reaction, and the response. Now, having covered these, what he is saying now is the 10th yajna in terms of prana and apana. Now, first thing about this prana is this prana sustains all the three transactions of life. The receipt, reaction, and response, the three transactions of life are sustained by prana. And now he takes that prana also as a part of yajna, having covered receipt, reaction, and response. First thing that you have to understand in relation to the prana is they sustain the life activities. Prana means vital air. Vital air. I have said this before also. The species that lives life through breathing, which is what all species are all about, they are called pranis. Tamil kuda prani they say. Prani means that which lives through prana, the breath. Now, that is also taken as a separate, that is also he is dealing with as a separate exercise in itself. What he is calling as pranayama parayanaha. Now, one is called prana, and then he using the word pranayama, pranayama. This pranayama is a combination of two words. Prana plus ayamaha. These are the two words. When these two words are combined, it becomes pranayama. Now, ayama means control, regulation. Actually, it is not controlling, it is regulation. Regulation means the proportion of intake and output. There is a balance. That is what regulation means. The definition of regulation is the proportion. What is the proportion? The proportion of intake versus the proportion of output. When it is balanced, when it is exercised, it is called regulation. So pranayama now means what? It is not breath control, even though we loosely call it as breath control. What you have to understand is, it is regulation of the breathing. The regulation of the breathing. And that regulation of the breathing, which is happening constantly, is also converted into one yajna. And why he takes it separately is because receipt, reaction and response continuously happens in the backdrop of breathing in and breathing out. The last thing you do is breathe out. Or apana vella pochina thirupi prana doesn't come inside. After the apana is gone, when the prana doesn't come back inside, this body is dead. That's where we say pranas have left. So that which happens continuously, that which happens most constantly in the backdrop, which is sustaining the three activities of receipt, reaction and response, is prana. So what he has done here, he takes that also as an exercise. Why he takes that as an exercise? As a yajna, as a reminder for the divine. To get if you want an instant concentration. See, long-term concentration is very difficult. Long-term concentration, raga dvesha, you have to get rid of raga dvesha, develop the attitude of karma yoga, the sacrificial attitude. Not only the sacrificial attitude followed by sacrificial actions. Yeah. Otherwise, people say, I have sacrificial attitude, that is more than enough. No, sir. Action need not be done at all. Now, the lot of sacrificial attitude followed by sacrificial actions. When all that is done, there is a permanent control. There is a long-term concentration. Now, when there are times where you need a quick first aid. A first aid method for concentration. First aid method for concentration is pranayama. It doesn't really help in the long run. It doesn't really help in concentration. It is a first aid method. First aid method, it will work for 2 days. Third day, as you are doing pranayama, the mind will go. Don't worry. Yeah. Third day, as you are doing pranayama, mind will go everywhere. But for the first 2 days, it helps. After 10 years, if you do it again, it may help. Therefore, what you need to understand about prana is the right understanding of prana is required. Why I'm giving this brief introduction about prana is because people have so much of a mystical misunderstanding about this prana. Mysticism nale misunderstanding. There is no mystical misunderstanding. There is no need to double emphasize. Yeah, double emphasis is not required, but still we are using it because mysticism nale it is a misunderstanding. Because why there is no special powers given to one and not to the rest and all that. But prana is something very vital, which is very important, and Vedanta recognizes the role of prana, and it says practice regulation of prana. In English, we have to translate it as control. But the Sanskrit word always means regulation. That is why we don't even say food control. We say ahara niyama. Ahara niyama. Niyama means not control. Niyama means following a disciplined path. Following a disciplined path is what is known as niyama. Now, following a disciplined path is opposite of acting on raga dvesha likes and dislikes. I feel like eating 4 mangoes. I eat 4 mangoes at a stretch. And then suddenly I feel like fasting. I'll go for a fasting for 2 days. Suddenly I read one article, live on water. I start living on water for 2 weeks. And then suddenly somewhere else I read one article, what? In the morning, you don't need to have any food, no nothing. Just one shake is enough. One protein shake is enough for the whole day. And you start drinking that protein shake for 3 weeks and then come back to something. This is called lack of ahara niyama. Ahara niyama means eating in a disciplined way. Regulation. Similarly, for pranayama, again the same the same word. Regulation. So it is regulation of pranas. And when you are regulating the prana, what is the regulation? The regulation is of 3. The regulation is of 3. What is the regulation? I'm breathing in. You can't see it. I have to say, yeah, I am. Then I say, and if you see my stomach bulging, I will say, oh, this man is breathing in. And then if it goes right inside, now you will know it is breathing out. So we don't do all that. Here I am saying, breathing in. And then breathing out. Between this breathing in and breathing out, there is a holding. There is a retention. So, for all practical purposes, what does regulation means? Breathing in, retention, breathing out, retention again. So, retention comes at 2 points. You breathe in, you hold. And then you breathe out, again you hold. Comfortably, no, not till you suffocate or anything, to a comfortable level. To make it very simple, what they did, they gave the ratio also. They gave the ratio, they gave the proportion. What is the proportion? This is the formula for life. Huh? Not only for prana it is. This is the formula for everything. If you need to have a vital life, follow this formula, which you start with pranayama. You start using this proportion in pranayama, but this is the formula for all aspects of life. What is it? The output must be twice the input. That's the formula. The output must be twice the input. If the output is twice the input, life is vital, which is what the last yajna is going to go. Which is what he is going to talk about in the next yajna. In the next yajna, he says vitality. You do this pranayama, there is the vitality, and that vitality shows off as a brilliant life. A brilliance in life is expressed, comes out because of this vitality. Now, how does this vitality come? A formula is required. And what is the formula? It is said symbolically in pranayama, which you have to use in all transactions of life. What is it? Ensure that the output is twice the input. What does it mean? If you take 4 counts to breathe in, you should take 8 counts to breathe out. 4 seconds, like if you fill yourself up, in 8 seconds, you need to, in 8 seconds, you have to breathe out. Proportion, breathing in and breathing out. Where yajna comes in is, instead of simply sitting and breathing in and breathing out, mentally you remember the divine also, it turns into an yajna. Otherwise, it is just a breathing exercise. First, the breathing exercise, then comes, as you are doing the breathing exercise, the remembrance of the divine. So, as you do this breathing exercise, remembering the divine, it becomes a yajna. Otherwise, it is just ordinary. Otherwise, it is just ordinary breathing exercise. Lung capacity will increase, but mental worries and anxiety will not. The worry and anxiety and fear will not go. That will remain. That will remain as same. In fact, breathing illam panni. You do this breathing, you keep yourself fit and live for a long time suffering. Why? Because there is no remembrance of, yeah, I'm doing lot of exercises, keeping myself fit and all that, but worried, anxious, tensed, 90 years of anxiety, 90 years of depressed living. Why? Because I did a lot of physical exercises, but the fear, the worry, the anxiety doesn't leave. Therefore, Vedanta says, the longevity is for what? One of the Upanishadic invocations says, the longevity is to sing your praises, he says. The longevity is to sing your praises. The longevity is so that I have that much time to do Shravana and Manana. When I am having that much time to do Shravana and Manana, vitality is required for Shravana, Manana to be powerful. Vitality is required for Karma Yoga to be powerful. And this vitality comes, one of the methods of the very many methods, one of the methods to bring the vitality is pranayama exercises, which he is not calling it as pranayama exercises, he calls it as yajna. And why he calls it as yajna is because the purpose here is to remember the divine. Stage number 1 is to remember the divine. Stage number 2 is to say, I am the divine. Stage number 1 is to say, in stage number 1, I remember the divine. In stage number 2, I say, I am the divine. Vitality is required for all these practices. And where do you get this vitality from? This vitality you get by the practice of pranayama. Prana is that which links the subtle body and the gross body. Prana is the connect between the gross body and the subtle body. The Sukshma Sharira and the Sthula Sharira. The gross body and the subtle body. That which connects the gross body and the subtle body is pranas. That is why when death happens, death of the body, whenever we say death, it is not death of you, it is death of the body. That is why they say when body dies, they say pranas have left. They say pranas have left. Even today, they will not say so and so is dead. They will say pranas have left. Yeah. Even when my father passed away, the uncles and all the elderly people, the family, they came, ethan maniki pranam pochu? What time the pranas left? I said, what time the pranas left? You should ask what time the father left. Because where does he go? The subtle body is still continuing elsewhere. They don't know the meaning. But then it has been so much part of the vocabulary, I am saying. It has been part of the vocabulary so much. We were knowing these basics. What I am trying to say is we were knowing these basics is what I am trying to explain. What time the pranas left? At so and so time pranas left. Oh, abdiya, okay. And then why keep the body? Dispose the pranas have left. What is the corollary to that? Pranas have left. What is the corollary to that? Dispose the body. Other than what is the point in keeping that? So from this, what do you understand? Pranas is the link between the gross body and the subtle body. Taittiriya Upanishad makes it more clear by talking about it as koshas. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about it as pancha koshas, and it says Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha is the subtle body. Anandamaya kosha is the Karana Sharira, the causal body. Annamaya kosha is the gross body. And then there is the part of it. What is the part? The pranas is that which links the gross and the subtle. And these pranas is of 5 types. They did some physiological studies about the human composition and all that, and they have come to this anatomy, physiology, they have come to the conclusion that there are these 5 pranas, and these pranas, pancha pranas. The pancha pranas are prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Prana means incoming, apana means outgoing, vyana circulatory, udana reversing, samana digestive. These are all the physiological functions. These are all the physiological functions of the pranas. With this knowledge of prana, we will read the verse. Why I said, why I gave all this is, with this knowledge of the pranas, we will read the verse. And also we have, I think I spoke about the 3 aspects of pranas, no? Sorry, the 3 disciplines of pranayama, the incoming, the retention, outgoing, they have words for that also. Elladhukku or Sanskrit word vera irukku. It's called Purakam, Kumbhakam, Rechakam. Purakam means filling it, filling the lungs, not filling the stomach, filling the lungs. And then Kumbhaka, this Kumbhaka is of 2. Adile there are 2. One is Antara Kumbhakam, which is retaining it inside. Another is Bahya Kumbhakam, outside retention. This outside retention will come after you exhale. So, inhale, retention, exhale, retention. By this practice of pranayama, a few offer this as yajna. Yet others offer this pranayama itself as yajna. Now, with this, we'll now we'll go into the verse with this brief intro about the pranayama. Yet others offer as sacrifice. What do they offer as sacrifice? Prana into apana and apana into prana. Remember, yajna, we have to have 2 things, ahuti and the kindling. The ahuti and then that which is kindled, that is yajna. Prana and apana. What happens? One uses prana and apana, another practices apana into prana, meaning one person will focus on the inhalation part, another person will focus on the exhalation part, depending on the individual nature and all that. Depending on the individual nature, what impresses that person, what motivates that person. Yajna here means what? Prana into apana and apana into prana. This is yajna number 10. This is yajna number 10. The same verse talks about yajna number 11 also. Yajna number apane juhvati pranam. prana apanam tatapare. First, the yajna number 10 is this. Yajna number 10 is apane juhvati pranam. Apane juhvati pranam. Apane juhvati pranam means apana into prana. Inhalation. When breathing in, when you are breathing in, symbolic, when you are breathing in, exhalation is offered into the fire of inhalation. When you are exhaling, during exhalation, when breathing in, what happens is, this is how it is converted into yajna. When you are breathing in, exhalation is offered into inhalation. It means what? Exhalation is as though destroyed. Exhalation is as though destroyed, inhalation has come in. And then what happens? The cycle. What happens? Exhalation. So exhalation, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation. One becomes the ahuti and another becomes the kindling. From one becomes the ahuti and another becomes the kindling. So the cycle of prana, apana, prana, prana, apana, prana, apana, prana, apana. One yajna happens. What is a yajna? Yajna number 10. Now what happens because of this yajna number 10? Yajna number 11 says inner strength develops. Inner strength develops. When you properly regulate prana and apana, when you properly regulate prana and apana, there is that inner strength. That is yajna number 11. Yajna number 10 is prana into apana, apana into prana. Yajna number 11 is pranayama into pranayama becomes the ahuti. What is kindled? Inner strength is kindled. In yajna number 10, what is the ahuti? Prana is the ahuti, apana is kindled. Apana is the ahuti, prana is kindled. That is yajna number 10. In yajna number 11, pranayama itself becomes the ahuti, and what is kindled? Inner strength is kindled. Thus, 2 yajnas is covered in this verse. Prana and apana. Prana and apana. Then what about the other 3 pranas? How to control the other 3 pranas? You need not worry. If you do this prana, apana, nale, all the pranas comes under control. I think last week or previous week only we discussed it in the Vedanta treatise, the human composition. Some of you would have, most of you would have attended that. I'm just repeating whatever is said there for those who, for the benefit of those who didn't attend those sessions. When pranas are controlled, inner strength happens. Inner strength happens. Please understand, when he says inner strength, the real inner strength is the strength of the intellect. Not that you do pranayama, you will have inner strength. What it means here is a relative vitality. That's all. Not as an inner strength, as in the strength of the, not as in the strength of the intellect. The real strength, the real inner strength comes through the strength of the intellect only. Still, why he uses the word inner strength here? To distinguish between physical strength. To distinguish between a physical strength and the inner strength, which is inner strength means the ability to control the mind is what inner strength is all about. What is physical strength? How much you can run or how much you can lift. You climb 2 floors, you are panting for, you are panting for breath. There is no physical strength. But no, sir, I am 90, I am panting for breath. Now what to do? Machine has become old. That has got nothing to do. The old machine will be like the old machine will be like that only. You can't have a 90-year-old, 80-year-old machine to behave like a 18-year-old machine. That will not happen. Relatively speaking, there is this inner strength. This is yajna number 10 and 11. In the 12 yajnas, I said, the first, the receipt, reaction, response yajnas, we have to spend time. This last 2 yajnas will go very fast because it is just a physical exercise, not much of a philosophy involved in it. When we say just a physical exercise, we are not demeaning it. We are not calling it as lower. It has a role to play. It has a role to play. What is the role it has? It gives the inner strength. With that inner strength, you go to yajna number 12, which is the last verse. With this inner strength, you go to yajna number 12, which is the last verse. When I say last verse, not of this chapter, last verse in relation to the 12 yajnas. Verse number 30. I am reading verse number 30 now. Apare niyataharaha pranan praneshu juhvati sarve pyete yajna vidaha yajna kshapita kalmashaha. Apare niyataharaha pranan praneshu juhvati sarve pyete yajna vidaha yajna kshapita kalmashaha. Others with regulated food offer pranas into pranas. Yajna is over. The last yajna. The first sentence of verse number 30, 12th yajna is over. Others with regulated food offer pranas into pranas. And then he concludes. Sarvehe api ete. Sarve pyete na sarve api ete. All these are knowers of sacrifice. All these are knowers of sacrifice, and by sacrifice have destroyed their sins. And by sacrifice have destroyed their sins. I will come to that later. Philosophy comes now only. Otherwise, 29 verses 29 and verse number 30, first line is just the exercise. Now, what is he saying in verse number 30 now? He is saying, others with regulated food, aharaha. Previously, he spoke about pranaha. Now he is talking about aharaha, food. Aharaha, food la kondandu vechadunala, the cycle has started once again. What? Sense control and it will start. That's how it is the cycle. Aharaha nu kondandu utta. Aharaha means that which is the food for. Ahara means that which is the food for the senses. Ahara literally means that which is the food. The food for the senses. Today, it has mean ahara means the food for the stomach. It is not only the food for the stomach. Ahara means that which feeds the senses. That which feeds the senses. What is it that feeds the senses? nutrition. Through the mouth, you can take nutrition, or through the mouth, you can take destruction. Correct? Huh? Through the mouth, nutrition can go in you. Through the mouth, what can go in? What can go in you? Junk food in edutha, what goes in you? So the input can give you nutrition, or the input can cause you destruction. Some input is vital. Some input, okay. Some input makes you manda. Yeah. Manda na dull. Yeah. Manda na dull. Yeah. One plate full of Maggi noodles. I'm not against Maggi, yeah, please. I eat that also. Yeah, I eat that. Whenever I'm stressed, I eat Maggi, yeah. A stress buster, Maggi. How Abdina Maggi certain questions will come. And then we will go. I'm just giving this as an example. Some food you take, there is manda. Nutrition, you overeat, again it is manda. Yeah, again it is manda. So what does it means? Ahara means that which decides, that which regulates the nutrition in you. Now, through the eyes, nutrition goes into you. Through the ears, nutrition goes into you. Through the nose, nutrition goes into you. Through the touch, nutrition goes into you. Ahara means being aware of the nutritious supply that has to go in you through all the senses. Through all the senses. This is what is known as ahara. The proper regulation of these intake and release, as we saw in the previous verse, what it brings about? It brings about an inner vitality. That inner vitality is the ahuti here. That inner vitality is the ahuti here. The outer activities is the fire that is kindled. What is the outer activities? Whatever be that outer activity, as in outer activities now, with what you have to connect now? With what you have to connect outer activities? Sir, we forgot. What is the outer activity? The response part. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, swadhyaya, jnana yajna. All that will be that outer activities that comes out of you would be one of. There will be a vitality to it. There will be, and nowadays they don't use the word vitality. They use the word positivity. Yeah. Vitality is an old word. Now you have to replace it with, there will be a lot of positivity. Positivity kum pudusa edavadhu vaartha vandirukada, I don't know. Yeah. Positivity, lot of that comes about. It means what? When there is a lot of positivity in your activities, in your responses, what are you giving to the world? What are you giving to the world? When there is a lot of positivity in you, what are you giving to the world, as it were? Positivity only. So, what is yajna, to put it very simply? Take the positivity, you process it rightly, and whatever comes out of you is also positive. 12 yajnas are 12 yajnas are over. Starting with the sense control. Starting with the sense control means what? Starting with the sense control. What is starting with the sense control means? Ahara niyama, prana niyama, and all that. That's what the sense control. No. So are you able to see the cycle now? It starts with that, goes into the cycle, and comes back as an external dynamic activity. Cycle. Your whole life becomes a cycle of yajna. Beautifully he says, the second part of the verse is what is very, the second part of the verse is what is very important. The second part of the verse very beautifully he says, all these are knowers of sacrifice. Sarve pyete yajna vidaha. First is knowers of sacrifice. Knowers of sacrifice na lot of Shravana they have done about this in Artham. Knowers of sacrifice means they have done a lot of Shravana about this. They have understood all this. Stage number 1. Step number 1. Step number 2 is what? And after Shravana, what they did? By sacrifice, by practicing it, by practicing this, knowing it and practicing it, they have destroyed their sins. Yajna Shapita Kalmashaha. Kalmasha means all the negativities are gone. All the sins. Philosophically, it is translated as sins. All the negativities are gone. What is the negativity? What is the negativity? I will work the negativity downwards. And you have to see, now we have to work backwards. What is the negativity? The ignorance is the negativity. Out of ignorance, you believe that you are this little self. Since you believe you are this little self, you are affected by Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya. Now, what is working backwards? Wherever there is Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya, you understand there is a wrong identification, and you need, by the practice of these yajna karma, you develop the conviction that you are the pure self. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsaryaku கீழே ஒரு step இருக்கு. What is that? I am a sinner. அதுக்கு கீழே போகவே முடியாது. Yeah. Vedanta doesn't start with the notion that you are the sinner. Vedanta doesn't tell you that you are the sinner, purify yourself. It doesn't say that. அதுக்கும் கீழே போனா you have to say I am a bad person, I am a sinner. All that is of ignorance. Who will understand this? Who can understand this? You have heard it any number of times, but there is no conviction in that. It's not that you have not heard this. All of you have heard this any number of times. I know everybody is giving discourses also. Yeah. Everybody is giving discourses also. And yet there is the lack of conviction. What is the lack of conviction? The lack of conviction in saying, I am, the lack of conviction in saying, I am the self. That lack of conviction. You say it, you feel like laughing at. Even if you say it, you feel like laughing at yourself. Ramatirtha says, don't try this, sir. Don't try all this literally. Apron they will treat you differently. Ramatirtha says, go to the rooftops, he says. Go to the rooftop and shout on top of your voice, Aham Brahma Asmi. Now you are shouting on top of the voice, I am. Yeah. I am Aravindan. Now I am shouting this on top of the voice without any doubt whatsoever. Ramatirtha says, Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha, destroyers of sin. What is the destroyers of sin? They say, Aham Brahma Asmi. We have to come there. That is the vision. All this Yajna Karma is for what vision? Is to get there. Is to get to that state. To quickly summarize all the 12 yajnas. Yeah. Anyway, I think I have to make a calendar. Enniki in the 12 yajna aarambichano therilla. And exactly on what date, if my memory is correct, I started before Corona lockdown. March munadi I started, if I remember rightly. If I remember it rightly, somewhere I started. Now, I quickly go through all the 12 yajnas. The 12 yajnas started with the ideal first. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnav, Brahmanahudam, Brahmaiva tena ghantavyam, Brahmakarma samadhina. Verse number 24. Fixed the ideal. Having fixed the ideal, he started breaking it down as to what you can practice to get there. So, what he did from verse number 25 to 30 in the commentary, refer the commentary. Verse 25, commentary, if you refer, there is the yajna circle. The cycle of yajna is mentioned. The cycle is there. Now, I'm referring back to that. I'm going back to that. The cycle that is referred in the cycle that is explained in the commentary. Yajna number 1 and 2. What is it? Yajna number 1, limited ideal. Yajna number 2, absolute ideal. Limited ideal means a better life. Limited ideal means a better life. Absolute ideal means liberation. Yajna helps you for both. Yajna helps you for both. If you are wise, you will not use it for. If you are wise, you will not use it for a limited purpose. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita can be used. Bhagavad Gita for profit making. Lectures yeah. How to increase profit. Follow the techniques from Bhagavad Gita and you can increase it. It is not wrong. But it is a very limited. It's a very limited purpose. You say it to explain what you can get it, and also you can get something qualitatively better than that. Since you think that is the best, you can get that, and also you can get something which is infinitely better than that, qualitatively much better than that. So that is the two ideals, limited ideal and absolute ideal. A very few can directly come to the absolute ideal. The vast majority have to pursue limited ideal for a while, get a few knocks and shocks, understand that the limited ideals and all didn't take anywhere. Yeah. 40 வருஷமா IOB ல வேலை பார்த்து ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறமா ஞானம் will come. What? What a waste of, correct, huh? What a waste of time. Nothing has changed. That is only, I'm not talking about our Venkatan, our Pati Pesla. I'm just giving it as an example. Yeah, not our Venkat. Same thing happens to every, and then what happens? At least now there can be a conviction in what? In saying that is of no, that is of no use. So now the shift to absolute ideal. From the relative ideal, you shift to the absolute ideal. What is the absolute ideal? What is absolute ideal? What I call as better life is a myth. What I call as a better life is a myth. It appears to be better. Having gotten it, it proved that nothing has happened to me. Again, I repeat. A better life is a myth. What is the myth? The myth is, if I get it, something will happen to me. A betterment will happen to me is the myth. So a person chases that, gets it. After getting it, the person realizes what? Nothing has, no betterment has happened. In fact, all the betterment is for what? Hospital bills pay பண்றதுக்கு I have saved enough to pay the hospital bills. அவ்வளவுதான். அதை தவிர nothing much has, apart from that, nothing has happened. Now comes the shift. Vedanta says you can go through your own experience, can understand, or you can understand it through knowledge. So the two ideals. What are the two ideals? The absolute ideal and the relative ideal. So having pursued the relative ideal for a while and having understood the futility. Sir, I am pursuing the relative ideal but not yet understood the futility. Now don't worry. More Shravana, a few more Shravana, few more knocks and shocks, few more Punarjanma will bring this, will bring this. And then what happens? The absolute ideal. What is absolute ideal? The ideal of not a better life, the ideal of what is it beyond all this? What is beyond all this? For both the ideals, the concept of yajna helps. For both the ideals, maybe relative, maybe absolute, for both the ideals, you can use these 12 yajnas. I'm not going into the 12 yajnas again. The ideal to the current stage in life is what I'm trying to connect. Therefore, what happens? Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha. Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha means all sins are destroyed. How did the sins get destroyed? From the very elementary they started. What is the elementary thing? Sense control. You don't start with all the senses. You start with one sense first. You start with at least one. Edo one now you start with. And then you move on to all the 5. So first comes a sense control, then comes all the sense control, then comes the reaction part, which is the mind and the intellect. Verse number 27, the yoga of self, the yoga of sense control, the yoga of self control. Then came Yajna 6 to 9, what you respond back into the world. Receipt, reaction and response. 28 ach. Now these three transactions of life, receipt, reaction and response, is sustained by pranas. So that also becomes part of the yajna. And then he says the last yajna, which is yajna number 12, which we just finished. He said, others with regulated food offer pranas into pranas. Offering pranas into pranas means the first prana refers to the regulated internal activities and the absorption, the consequent absorption of energy. That is first prana. The second prana refers to expression of the acquired energy in the form of external activity. That is why he used the word pranas twice. In the previous verse, he said prana to apana, apana to prana, inner strength. Now he is saying pranas into pranas. Life breath into life breath. Now what is this life breath into life breath? Having discussed pranayama previously in detail. Now what is this? That is where you have to understand it rightly. The first prana refers to the regulated internal activities. The regulated internal activities and the consequent absorption of the energy. Second prana refers to the expression of the acquired energy, the expression of the acquired energy in the form of external activities. The inner strength is the ahuti. The inner strength is the ahuti. And what is kindled? The outer activities are kindled. The inner activities arising out of inner, what is it that is offered into the activity as the ahuti? The vitality is offered, as it were. The vitality is offered, as it were. And what is kindled? When vitality is offered, what will come out? Meaningful activities will come out. When vitality is offered, meaningful activities will come out. In the vision of Vedanta, in the vision of the Shastra, in the vision of the law of life, vitality means that which reminds you of the divine. It is vital. That which makes you forget the divine is asuric in nature. Not divine. Not divine ku opposite in asuran solla vendrum. It is asuric in nature. So all the limited ideals at some point of time becomes asuric in nature. Why? Because it is pertaining to the world, and what is sacrificed? The divine is sacrificed to chase the world. Vedanta says, sacrifice the world and realize your nature, which is divine. Sacrifice the world and realize your nature, which is divine. This is how whoever does this, he beautifully concludes by saying, all these are knowers of sacrifice. All these are knowers of sacrifice. Yajna vidaha Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha. The knowers of sacrifice and the doers of sacrifice. One is to know that you have to be charitable. Another is you are being charitable. Again I repeat. One thing is to know that you have to be charitable. Another thing is being charitable. Only when these two are combined, sins will get destroyed. So you need a fantastic combination of these two. Fantastic combination of these two. Shravana Manana on the one side and practice of these 12 yajnas on the other side. What happens to you? All your sins gets destroyed. All your sins gets destroyed. And the next 3 verses, which is 31, 32 and 33, he is going to talk about the glory of Yajna Karma. First he said, first he spoke about Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi and all that. And then he told the 12 yajnas. And then what he is going to do now is up to verse number 33. He is going to talk about the glory of these 12 yajnas. Yeah. Our sonada, aure prabalaparthikirar. Yeah. Whatever he said, he is promoting it. Whatever he said, he is glorifying it. It's all beautiful 3 verses where he is going to glorify the yajna, glorify the yajna karma, and then comes 34. And then comes verse number 34. Athoda the beautiful conclusion. Verse number 34. Verse number 34, I am not getting into it at all now. When we go there, we will. See. Pranipatena, Pariprashnena, Sevaya, all that is going to come in verse number 34. First, he said, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. And then he spoke about the 12 yajnas. Now he is glorifying the yajna. When he glorifies the yajna, he talks about what happens to the doers, what happens to the non-doers. Then only no cause and effects on that, it becomes glorification and not simply praising it. What happens to the doers? What happens to the non-doers? What happens to the doers? Something happens. Whenever we go there, we'll see. What happens to the non-doers? Adu Krishna need not say it. That we know already. Yeah, that we know already. How do we know that already? Stand in front of the mirror. Yeah, you stand in front of the mirror, you will know who is a non-doer. What has happened to the non-doer? You have to stand in front of the mirror. What will happen to the doer? We have to read verses 31, 32 and 33. Beautiful conclusion of the 12 yajnas. Each yajna has 2 essential constituents. I'm just summarizing the yajnas. Because again, when are you going to get a chance to study all this? We don't know. Adatta, what if 4th chapter varumbodha, we will get a chance to study. Oh, this is so beautiful. Yajna has these 2 constituents. What are the 2 constituents of yajna? Ahuti and kindling. Ahuti means that which goes into it. Kindling means the fire shoots up as it were, and it is blessing. Those who understand these 2, what are the 2? There is an ahuti and then there is the kindling that is possible in all the transactions of life can do yajna. They are the knowers of yajna and doers of yajna. What is the knowers of yajna and doers of yajna means? Whoever understands in every transaction of life, in all the transactions of life, there are 2 things that is happening. The ahuti and the kindling. whoever recognizes that there are these two first, and then ensuring that proper ahuti goes and proper kindling happens, are the performers of yajna. So in every transaction of life, in all transactions of life, remember two things is happening in you, in me, in everybody. What are the two? Ahuti and kindling. Ahuti means that which is fed, input. Kindling means kindled, the fire that is kindled is the output. So in every transaction, in all transaction, there is an input and then there is an output. Proportion எப்படி இருக்கணும்? Proportion எப்படி இருக்கணும்? 1:2. கரெக்டா போட்டார் மோகன். இல்லையா? 1:2. Even when you study, same proportion 1:2. Books after books after books after books. YouTubeல என்னெல்லாம் வருதோ, யாரெல்லாம் பேசுறாங்களோ எல்லாத்தையும் கேட்டுனே இருந்தா உள்ள போயினே இருக்குது. What is happening? Verbal diary after a while, not knowing what you are taking, what you are talking, what you are saying, you can't take in. So even there, the proportion has to be maintained. 1:2. Yeah, input. Adri input. Greed. The greed for input, the person is so greedy, the input goes on. The input goes on and on and on. Reflection, digestion. There is no time for reflection and digestion. Where there is no time for reflection and digestion, what will come out? What will come out? Yeah, verbal diarrhea. Fellow will talk without knowing what he is talking. Verbal diarrhea with manda buddhi. Verbal diarrhea with manda buddhi. Buddhi is manda. Buddhi is very, very poor. But you look at the verbal diarrhea, you think that man is இவ்வளோ பேசுறாருன்னா இல்லையா? அப்படிதான். I'm also cheating you all. No, I'm also cheating you all with the same verbal diarrhea only. No, say so much. You all think அப்போ பரவாயில்ல, மிச்சவங்கெல்லாம் இல்லைன்னா கூட சாருக்கு ஏதோ கொஞ்சம் தெரியும் போல இருக்குது. Remember these two. What you should remember? Ahuti and kindling is the traditional way. In the modern day, you don't have to worry about ahuti and kindling. You need to worry about the input and the output. Each and every input and output has to be reminding the divine is yajna karma. Everything that goes into you, all that goes into you, all that comes out of you must have the flavor of divine. That's what he means by saying all these are knowers of sacrifice, and by sacrifice have destroyed their sins. All these are knowers of sacrifice, and by performing sacrifice, they have destroyed their sins. They have destroyed their sins. Beautiful conclusion. Sins means agitations. Relatively less agitated state is heaven, swarga, better life. Better life. Relatively less agitated state, swarga life. Avladha. Yeah. What is swarga life? Last month, we had a lockdown. Yeah. There is a lockdown in my building, and then the other side of my area also got locked down. In the area of the building, lockdown irundha kuda swarga. Why? Because ஒரு 4 வாலண்டியர் கீழே நின்னுனே இருப்பாங்க இல்லையா? they take turns. கீழே all that you have to do is what? milk தீந்து போச்சுப்பா, ஒரு half liter milk வாங்கிட்டு வா. That fellow will go on buy milk and come. Other side of the part, the fellows were telling me, sir, even if we go to buy, the fellows are saying, don't come to the shop, don't come. Yeah, swarga asda. A better life, a peaceful life is swarga. Temporary it is. What is temporary? Less agitated state is a better life. Less agitated state means what? The potential for agitation, the seed for agitation is in you still. Anytime it will flare up. The punya karma has temporarily quietened it down. And don't get carried away by that. Don't get misled by that. Don't misunderstand that you are all right. Yajna karma says you are all right only when you have taken into consideration all the input and output must have the flavor of Brahman, must have the flavor of God, must have the flavor of divine. Then only. What all you do? Receipt, reaction, response, ahara, prana. Again I repeat. What all you do? Receipt, reaction, response, ahara, prana. So these transactions of life, which is what these 5 is all about, everything must be associated with the divine. Everything must be associated with the divine. When you associate it with the divine, I'm summarizing. When you associate it with the divine, you can use it in two ways. One is the divine as separate from you and you prostrating to the divine. Divine as though separate from you and you prostrating to it, stage number 1. Stage number 2 is to say, I am the divine. The 2 stages of growth. One is to prostrate to the divine as though it is external. Now first you have to do that a lot. You can't escape that. Please understand, you can't escape that. You have to do that a lot. You have to do all that a lot and then mature and then you come to the stage. But when you are doing that, you have to remember what? That is also part of ajnanam, ignorance only. And it is complete only when you say, the divine and me are one and the same. Deha bhavena dasosmi, jiva bhavena twadam shakaha, atma bhavena tvamevaham. This is what Anjaneya said. Hanuman, they asked Hanuman, what is your relationship with Rama? Unaku Ramaku enna pa sambandham? The question. What is your relationship with Rama? Deha bhavena dasosmi. Body in level la paathu Hanuman and Ramana. Hanuman is a devotee of Dasa, means service. One who serves Rama at the level of the body. Jiva bhavena twadam shakaha. Jiva bhavena means when I take the angle of the subtle, the jiva, I am a amsha. Twadam shakaha. Atma bhavena. When I consider when I look at it from the bhava of Atma, the self, me and Rama are not two, one and the same. Beautifully he quotes this in the Vedanta treatise in part C. This is quoted in the Vedanta treatise part C. Therefore, yajna, ahuti and kindling, input and output. Input kammiya irukano, output double. Means what? You take in, you absorb. When it is fully absorbed, the output would be more. You take in little, you absorb it, the output will be more. Without absorption, if you go on taking it, without absorption, if you keep on taking it, it will not be of any help. Meaning, yajna kshapita kalmashaha, the agitations will not go away. The agitations will remain the same. Maybe a better life. What is the better life? You may be insecure sitting on the roadside. Better life na feeling insecure sitting in a bungalow. Avladhan. Idanna periya better life. Feeling agitated sitting on the roadside na feeling agitated and sweating in the air conditioned room. Now what difference does it make? Only difference is what? See, that fellow is in the street. Comparatively I am better inside. But nevertheless, yajna kshapita kalmashaha. With this, the 12 yajnas are concluded. With this, the 12 yajnas are concluded. And we move on to the Krishna talking about the glory of the yajna and the consequences of the doers of yajna and the non-doer, which we will continue from the next session. Next session, Naka, I'm going to take up clarifications now. Yeah, there are a few clarifications. I'm taking the clarifications, and why I'm taking the clarifications at the end is because there's a whole list of clarifications. As I don't have to repeat it again and again and again. Class is over. Whoever wants to leave, they can leave. Huh? That's why I'm taking a break and I'm saying it is concluded. The verses will continue from next week. Now I am addressing those who have clarifications. Those who have clarifications can't. They can't go. First clarification, Bala. Assuming a ratio of 1:2 for prana apana, kindly clarify on the corresponding ratio or relationship between antara kumbhaka and bahya kumbhaka. As an example, if prana is 4 seconds, apana is 8 seconds, then how much a person should retain? The retention part, Bala, is he there? Okay. The retention part is in relation to the Gayatri chant. There is no calculations there. How you chant the Gayatri mantra is the retention part. Antara kumbhaka, bahya kumbhaka. Renduthukkum Gayatri is the measuring time. You don't measure time there. You use Gayatri there. There is no time factor that comes in that. Are you able to follow what I am saying? That is the first clarification.
Don't mistake me. And the idliye enak enna problem na, I'm being very honest. the speed of ucharikirukle, the way we recite, some people say very fast, like 10 minutes, like one person say I did Sahasra Gayatri, which I cannot, impossible. They are kind of cheating.
That's what I'm saying. Therefore, that is why I said it depends on the way you.
Because Gayatri ke or chandas irukku solra.
Yes, it depends on the way you do it.
Stand it, right? So I totally agree. We cannot have a stopwatch and do it. It beats the purpose.
Yes. So, it don't. That depends on how you chant.
Assuming chanting is learned properly with the chandas, that will auto correlate with the timing.
Yes, correct. Automatically, that will be the timing.
Okay. Adu kumbhakku first kumbhaka second irukla rendu whole
renduthukkume adudha
rendukum adhe formula da
renduthukkum adhe formula da.
Okay. So on the whatever the great rishis have already packaged our meal mari they have put it ella time la calculate panni they have put it for just have to follow. Don't
correct.
Just, yes. Less intake, just follow. Okay, I understood. Okay.
Correct.
So on the we have to practice the chandas and the recitation.
Yes. However you want to do that, you have to learn it, and then that becomes the part of it.
Excellent. So this answer holds good for regular Pranava Subramanishi and the pranayama sequence. This is what
same thing. Everything. So, yeah, same thing. The same for the same whatever practice you do, formula remains the same. That doesn't change.
Okay. But the illama in general, if somebody does pranayama, no offense, outside this mantra prayogam for Gayatri, which is there in the pranayama mantra sequence, then what is the 4 seconds inhale for 8 seconds, and I will use English. 4 seconds inhale, like 8 seconds exhale. And the hold the retention period, in between and then after exhalation. And the time 4 seconds, 8 seconds inhalation.
Now that we will discuss later. Okay. We are not discussing about the person who is not having this yajna karma as the goal and practicing pranayama. We are not.
Very good. Okay, because
we are not discussing that.
Let's rule out, because I agree with you, because it has the Brahman has to be there.
Yes,
the offering has
correct. We discuss it only in the context of a person having an ideal. Otherwise, as I said, it becomes it becomes a very good physical exercise, which is good for that person. That's all.
No, I don't want that. Yeah.
We are not discussing this. Correct?
Yeah, I'm with the Brahman and the offering and the what do you call awareness of the supreme.
Yes, correct. Yes, the awareness of Brahman has to be there.
Very good.
And only it is yajna karma.
Very good. Okay. That I totally agree and I respect it. Yes, I follow it.
Yeah. Now,
okay, please. Yeah.
The second one is, if the practitioner is expected to bring the attention inwards, how can the beginner maintain this ratio in the number of seconds? It beats the purpose, because maintaining this ratio involves a bit of external attention, awareness of time. Correct. This is the practical difficulty which you will have in the beginning.
Okay.
In the beginning, you can't do two things at a time. You can only do one thing at a time in the beginning. After a while, you would be able to manage this. So this is as far as the third is concerned. Whether the aim, the intention of the daily morning ajapa japa is similar to pranayama itself as an ahuti. Correct. The same thing. It is the same thing. All this reminds me of the quote, Brahmarpanamastu. Correct. Down the line, if you have forgotten somewhere down the line, if your mind has wandered elsewhere and you have missed the focus, Brahmarpanamastu, you say, and conclude it and you bring the focus back. Correct. This is as far as Bala is concerned. Now, Prasanna, can we say that input or the control of input depends on the strength of intellect? Yes, it is dependent on the strength of the intellect. Correct. When we say it is dependent on the strength of the intellect, again, the strength of the intellect is dependent upon how much I make an effort to practice the control also. So it is like two pedals. It is like two pedals to the cycle. Upon what the strength of the intellect is dependent upon the sense control. The sense control is dependent upon the control of what? The strength of the intellect. It means we are caught in that vicious loop. Where do we start? Somewhere down the line we have to start. And what is the starting point? Shravana is the starting point. Listening to the Shastras and then doing whatever is told is the starting point. Though it looks like a chicken egg story, which comes first? That which comes first is the Shravana, starting from there. What is the word for kindling? R.D. Prasad. Sanskrit, there is no word for kindling. In the word ahutiliye, it is implied. In English, we are splitting it into two. The Sanskrit word is only one, ahuti. Ahuti, that's all. There is no Sanskrit word for kindling. Since we are talking in that English language where we are not familiar with the vocabulary that he is using, we split it into two into English language and we call it as ahuti and kindling, because of the different vocabulary that we are using nowadays. For that reason, to my limited knowledge, I have tried searching for the word for kindling. I couldn't get an appropriate word. There are some words which are there, but it doesn't really, it didn't really, I should say, didn't satisfy me. Since it didn't satisfy you, no word for you also. If it satisfied me, I would have given you a word. Yeah. So, since there was no satisfactory word for me, no word for you also. Language mele padi pottana. So there's no appropriate word. Seriya? Prasad. Jivesh is saying, clarify this personally, uncle. Hey, 11 மணிக்கு கூப்பிடுறா என்ன? Personally I will clarify. 11 மணிக்கு என்ன கூப்பிடு. I will clarify. Prasanna, is performance of Sandhya Vandanam must? Not at all needed. Why it is needed? It is not at all needed, necessary. I didn't have opportunity to learn. Perfectly all right. For persons like me, what is the solution? Even Swamiji has not insisted on that. Full stop. Swamiji has not insisted on that. Therefore, if it is an essential practice, he would have insisted. If he has not insisted, it is not an essential practice at all. But why I talk about it is in the context of the yajna karma and the rituals and all that, some words are used from the ritual. That's all. Not to say that we are recommending that practice. Nor are we saying don't do that. Be careful. Nor is Swamiji saying don't do that. It is mechanical, useless. He is not saying that also. Rituals and all you take up. That which inspires you, you take up. That which motivates you, you can take up. If it is not motivating you or inspiring you, you need not take it up at all. And the same Sandhya prayer in a actual way it ought to be done is done in the academy. You know that. How do you know that? In the morning we look at the sun and we say the Gayatri. வீட்ல கூட எல்லாரும் சன்ன பார்த்து யாரும் சொல்றதே இல்ல. They all sit inside and say. There we don't sit inside the room and say the Gayatri. So it is practiced. But what is practiced there is not the associated ritualistic portion is not done. The true essence of it is practiced. Now the true essence of it, everybody has to practice. The ritualistic portion of it, we may practice, we may not practice. Are you able to follow? One is the ritualistic practice, another is the essence of it. The essence of it, everybody has to practice. Male, female, doesn't really matter. All human beings Where, wheresoever they are, whatsoever they are, they have to practice the essence. What is the essence? The Gayatri is the essence. And what is the essence of Gayatri? Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Let our intellects, dhiyo yona prachodayat. Not only you don't pray for your intellect, you pray for the intellect of everybody. It's a reminder. After doing the Gayatri, what you have to do? Shravana Manalalam Pannadam Buddhi Varum. I have to sharpen my intellect. I have to sharpen my intellect. Noor, what is solita? And then I don't do any Shravana, I don't do any Mananana. Then how the intellect will get sharpened? It will not get sharpened. Are you able to follow? Therefore, it aids. What does it? How does it aid? It aids in reminding you. The morning and evening, you remind yourself. That is why Gayatri mantra is, we pray Gayatri mantra in the morning and we pray Gayatri mantra in the evening also. Twice it is done. The spirit of it. Are you able to follow? Now, if you are asking about the ritualistic portion, we are neither for it nor against it. We say it is not that it is wrong to do, neither are we the ritualists promoting that ritual. If you are naturally inclined to it, and if you are inspired doing it, by all means you can do it. Those who are not doing it or those who don't know what it is are not losing anything at all. For they also get the same benefit as anybody else who's doing it. I know there is a whole lot of people in my family, I know. So religiously morning and evening they do, but no buddhi at all. Why? Because Shravana Manana they will not come to. Because they already say, I know all this, I know all this. Therefore, there is no benefit of that Gayatri itself is not happening. Now, what we are discussing here is through these classes, 1.5 மணி நேரம் கிளாஸ்னா 1.5 மணி நேரம் இன்டெலெக்ட் பத்தி பேசுறோம். You can say with pride that we only do 1.5 hours of Sandhya prayers. Nobody else does it. 1.5 hours we talk about only strengthening the intellect, which is the very essence of Gayatri is intellect. Sandhya prayers, the essence is Gayatri. Prida. Therefore, you need not really worry about it. Seriya? Did I answer you in any way, Prasanna? Yeah. Now, Bharat also had a clarification. I didn't see. Where is Bharat's clarification? Bharat. Oh, he is the first one to. Okay. Roll பண்ணும்போது I still have to. Before the class, I sit and learn it. அப்புறம் வரமாட்டேன்றது. Bharat, are you there? Why is the word yet others mentioned in verse number 29? Now, this word yet others you find in all yajnas common. In all the yajnas, right from verse number 25, if you see, apare, 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 others, others, others. What is meant by the word others is, of the 12 yajnas, something will be a starting point for you. Like for example, when you read the 35 qualities of a bhakta, not all the 35 qualities in the sequence that he says will inspire you. Of the 35 qualities, something will inspire you and you will start from that. So what he is saying is, these are the 10 parts involved. Everybody according to their nature will start with some. Ultimately, everybody has to follow everything. The starting point is different. That is the indication of the word others. others, others. And this word others, if you see, in verse number 25, he says the same thing. In verse number 26 also, he says others, others. In verse number 27, he says others. Verse number 20, in everywhere he says others. Verse number 30 la kuda he says others. Bharatha konjam unmute pannum nenikiren. Whether I ennal unmute panna mudiyuma?
Unmute பண்ணிட்டார். So namaskaram.
Yeah.
See, so the correct. So that is the observation I have. So in all the yajnas, we are using upright, but I took verse number 29 because I wanted to see whether the entire 12 yajnas being completed. And then I can ask this question.
Yeah.
So it's an observation. That's why I wanted some clarity.
Yeah.
As a practice,
yes,
every time when Bhagavad Gita says these are the practices, recommended practices, and it is all of us should follow this.
Yes.
If you want to become a objective person, let's say,
yes,
I'm not using self-realized and all that. So
yes,
you have to become objective in whatever you're doing. Then
yes,
you have to practice all these things. In the process, you're actually remembering divinity in every action of yours. That converts into a yajna. So the definition of yajna is being very clearly articulated.
yes.
What I didn't correlate was, why should the word others come? Because all of them so far have been instructions.
Yes.
Now this is because when you say others, it is practice that you're saying. A small section of people are doing it, so follow it. So it is different from the way it has been preached so far. So
correct.
I wanted that clarity. That is why I asked this question.
Yes. Now, yes, very good. Very good. Now, why Vedanta talks about it like this is because at any given point of time, seekers at different levels with different ability to practice access the Shastra. For example, if you are sitting in a BSc classroom, all the practitioners there is of the same. There may be a slight variation here and there, but then you will not find a fundamental difference there. But when it comes to the Shastra, okay, even for example, take the same academic classroom. In the academic classroom, when Swamiji is teaching, a person who has been listening to him from birth is also sitting there. Kaushalyamma, who has been listening to him for ages, is sitting there. I'm also sitting there. As a visitor who has come for the very first time is also sitting there. A Shastra has to keep addressing. A Shastra has to address everybody. So what they do is, they give the instruction on one side, and when they talk about the practice, they take the variety into consideration and they give the flexibility. Because the sequence, it's not the ideal way of learning nowadays. It is not the ideal way of learning nowadays, but the Shastra has foreseen this difficulty, and they have brought in this. They have foreseen this situation, and they brought in this variations. That is where you find instruction, the general formula everybody has to practice, can be spoken of very clearly. When something that is specifically told, what happens if a non-Arjuna studies Bhagavad Gita? Supposing if it is only between Arjuna and Krishna, nobody else is going to study Bhagavad Gita, there's no problem at all. If Kathopanishad, only Nachiketas and Yama is only between the two, and nobody else is going to have any access to that at all forever, then there is a freedom. Now Shastra is not like that. even though it uses one disciple, using that one disciple, it addresses that disciple and address the humanity in total also. Therefore, when they have this vision, they balance the both. When they are balancing these two, what do? Yajna karma has to be done. Input, output, sense control, self-control, you are careful about your responses, the prana, the ahara, which is collective for everybody. As a practitioner, where do I start? As a practitioner, where do I start? Why this differences others is because of this situation now that we are getting into. Levels of student with different levels of spiritual evolution access the same Shastra. Again, I repeat. Levels of student with different levels of spiritual evolution access the same Shastra. Now, the Shastra accommodates everybody. What we nowadays we call as holistic vision, no? What we call as the holistic vision nowadays. This is the Shastric holistic vision. Because the adhikaris, like how in the adhikari, as how we can clearly demarcate the adhikari in the scholastic education. It is not demarcated here. Tenth pass pannadan 12th. 12th pass panni, NEET pass pannada medicine. The adhikaritvam is very clearly established there. You will not find overlapping there. In spiritual evolution, you can't have that kind of a clear-cut demarcation. Why? Because the levels of spiritual growth itself differs from person to person. You can't group them like that. Since you can't group them like that, what is the methodology they adopted? I'm talking about the ancient Gurukula. What they adopted in the ancient Gurukula? 6 months scholastic education, skill, 6 months Vedantic education. And the 6 months, ellarum onna ukarvanga. Like in our school, we used to have, no? Maths classroom na ellarum pirinju poitu, Tamil class na ellarum vandu onna ukarvanga. Yeah. The Tamil classroom, everybody will come and sit together, and then some will go for maths class, some will go for accountancy class, but all will sit in the same class. So what do? Shastra, the skill can be addressed so technically, so separately. Shastra cannot be addressed like that. So what they did, Renda Pirchtanga, Dakshinayana, Uttarayana, they segregated as 2. 6 months of scholastic education, skill. Depending on their nature, the swadharma, the guna, karma and all that, for 6 months they will be taught a skill. When that 6 months is over, the next 6 months, all will be grouped again. All will be grouped again and all will be taught the Vedantic knowledge. Since Shastra is always addressing the variety of groups, you find this a different approach. Are you able to follow what I am saying? Krishna, being a very orthodox traditional teacher, he could have easily said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the diagram he could have said it easily. He could have easily said it. It's not that he didn't know, he could have easily said it. But in those times, that is not the way it is understood. Also, this is the climax. Also, Shastras will be taught in a very liberal mindset. Groupism grouping them, not groupism in that sense. Groupism has a limited liberality, cannot be there a lot. And personal growth, spiritual growth can happen only when the education is given liberally. That is why so many people have asked, I would like to join the academy. When does the course start? We say course started in 1988. Let's start at it. You can join. Naangalame paadila senda alunga. Yeah. I also didn't join in the 1988 the course started. You can join in at any time. It is very confusing. How can there be a course where you can just join in at a day, whenever you want? But then, sir, supposing you walk in and Isavasi Upanishad is started, talakal puriyad. Head or tail, you will not understand. It doesn't matter. 2 months you will get to know everything. In the 2 months, what are you supposed to do? Do seva for 2 months and prepare yourself, and you will gain the knowledge. That pattern is exactly followed in the academy. Otherwise, because I sat and correlated all this, I am able to explain immediately. I used to wonder, even before joining, you come and join Rara, how can anybody just go and join? Just like that. How is it possible? Ena namakku vandu preparation, entrance exam, adallam pannittu ponadana we will feel confident to enter only. Yeah. He is saying, come. But then growth happens in a liberal education. What is liberal education? Put everybody together and address. Why it is done like that is because the formula, the proportion in which knowledge is gained. Bharat, the proportion in which knowledge is gained. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. 1/4 from the Shastra, 1/4 from the Guru's teaching, 1/4 through the Manana reflection. The last 1/4 is with the friends around you, the Guru boys around you. So in the 4 peru sendada knowledge becomes complete. Now if you have to do this, it has to have a liberal environment. In the Sanskrit Subhashitani, they talk about this 4/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. 1/4 proportion is spoken about in this. One of the beautiful proportioning is there. 1/4 by reading. Another 1/4 by the Guru's Vyakhyana, Guru's explanation. Third is you sit and reflect, you digest. The 3/4. What is the last 1/4 remaining? Group discussion. Group discussion. I tell you how he visualized everything and put it in such a way, and nobody can even recognize it, because it is blended so well. It is blended so well. It is done so beautifully that we don't even know how it is so much integrated. Because for complete education to happen, some are learned from friends also, no? Teacher evladha solli koduthalum and the group study we do, no? Friends kuda poi group study. I also did group study, you also did group study, and we know what we did in group study. Yeah, except studying. Group study nala except studying we will do everything else. Adukku per da combined study. Yeah. Combined study na enna book allam padikudado and book allam kondu vechin padikkiradhu da combined study. But then 1/4 is learnt that way also. 1/4 is learnt that way also. Therefore, it is a blend. That is why இந்த othersன்றதுக்கு இவ்வளோ மீனிங் இருக்கு. Why it is said others is because in this liberal way of teaching alone, knowledge gets. The assimilation and digestion is so effortless. The assimilation and digestion happens in the environment of laughter, fun, a non-serious environment. Because of the liberality. The liberality varnumna, some mixture has to happen. Is it okay, Bharat? Did I unmute pannanum? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I love to, yes.
Yeah, did I help you in some way?
Yes, there is a lot of clarity. I agree that has to be, what you mentioned. At least the
Yes.
Subhashitani was fantastic.
Yes.
Really, I still have to go through this again
Yes.
and then understand what you've said. I've noted down some of your points.
Yes.
In case I have some clarity, I will send you a message, sir.
Yes, please. Correct. Please send. With this, we conclude for today. Thank you.